workshop on LinkedIn, just how to work our LinkedIn. Just give just to give us an insight on how to operate LinkedIn, how to make our LinkedIn look better. So as we were supposed to have this session 2 weeks ago, unfortunately, so the devil won on that day, and we couldn't have our session due to our technical difficulties that we had. But today, fortunately, everything is running smooth. We just hope the session will go well. Was Mrs. Bernarde, a very skilled workshop who will be having today. So I'll not waste any time. Please, Ms. Bernarde, the floor is yours.
All right, Sakile, thank you very much for that lovely introduction. I really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody that is here today. I'm really sorry about the gremlins that crept in last time that we were supposed to have this presentation and it didn't take place. So apologies from my side as well. All right, so just to give you a little bit of introduction. So I am Miga and I'm from Performability. And today I really want to talk to you about something that many students underestimate, but that can make a real difference in your career journey. And that's LinkedIn. You may think that LinkedIn is simply another social media platform, but it's actually one of the main places where recruiters, hiring managers, and professionals look for talent. And you are that talent that they're looking for. What I want you to take away from the session is practical. When you leave here, you should have a clearer idea of how to present yourself professionally online, how to make recruiters notice you, and how to position yourself so that opportunities can find you. Just move along. Okay, so why did it not move? Okay, why does it matter? Okay. When an employer is looking for someone to hire, where do you think that they look first? Very often the answer is LinkedIn. It's one of the largest professional networks in the world, and recruiters use it every single day to search for people with the right skills. This means something important for you. Even if you're not actively applying for jobs, someone can still find you. But here's the key question. When they find your profile, will it make them stop and pay attention? Do you stand out from the crowd? And that's what you need to do, stand out from the crowd. Or will they move on to the next person? And that is what we're going to work on today for you. So part of your personal brand, whether you realize it or not, you already have a personal brand. It's simply how people perceive you professionally. Your LinkedIn profile is one of the main places where that brand is visible. When someone looks at your profile, they're asking themselves a few questions. Who is this person? What can they do? And do they seem credible and professional? Your profile should answer all of those questions quite clearly. And it should show your strengths, your interests, and where you want your career to go. Remember, your profile is not something you create once and forget about. As you grow, learn new skills, and gain experience, your profile should grow with you. You should be able to connect with professionals where they get to know you, like you, and eventually trust you, as it says on the slide. The main elements that I want you to focus on is your profile, your content, your network, and the algorithm. All right, not one of them, all four of them. So before I explain the slide, let me ask you something quickly. How many of you have ever tried to learn something new? And I'm sure lots of you have tried to learn something new. It could be learning to drive, learning to code, learning a sport, or even learning how to cook something for the first time. When you first started learning that skill, did you become good at it immediately? Probably not. Not one of us do. All right. That is because learning something really requires a few different things working together. You need the knowledge or the theory. you need practice, and you need to learn from others who have more experience, and you need consistency so that you can keep improving. So if I go back to cooking or baking, if you saw your mom cooking in the kitchen or baking in the kitchen and you wanted to learn, you'd learn from her. And the more you did something, the better you became at it. All right. So that is the consistency, and so that you can keep improving. LinkedIn works in a very similar way. Your profile, the content you share, the network you build, and the LinkedIn algorithm all work together as a system. So none of them work on their own. They support each other. For example, your profile helps people understand who you are and what can you do. All right. Your content shows what you're thinking, what your interests are, and what you are learning. And your network connects you with people and potential opportunities. The algorithm, LinkedIn's algorithm, rewards activity, which means when you engage with others and share insights, more people are likely to see you. When these four elements, your profile, your content, your network, and your algorithm, work together, your visibility starts to grow and people begin to understand your professional value. But if one of these areas is missing, it becomes much harder to see results. It's very similar to learning a new skill, but if you only study the theory but never practice, or you practice but never learn from others, your progress becomes slower. So the key message here is balance. When all four of these elements, profile, content, network, and algorithm, support each other, LinkedIn begins to work much more effectively for you. All right. Your brand, again, this is a marketing exercise. So I want us to pause for a moment and think about something important. When you hear the word marketing, most people immediately think about companies advertising products. You think about brands promoting phones, clothes, cars. But in the professional world, something similar happens with people as well. Whether you realize it or not, you already have a personal brand. Your brand is simply the way people perceive you professionally, as I said earlier. When someone visits your LinkedIn profile, they start forming an impression about you. They are asking themselves questions like, who is this person? What are they good at? And where could they fit in a professional environment? Now, here's something important to remember. Even if you do not actively build your personal brand, people will still form an opinion about you. So the real choice is not whether you have a brand. The real choice is whether you shape that perception intentionally or whether you leave it up to chance. And you don't want to leave it up to chance. That is where the idea of the 4 Ps becomes useful. Positioning, purpose, presence, and personality. So the first one is positioning. This is about how you want to be seen professionally. For example, someone interested in finance, marketing, technology, design, or data analysis. The second is your purpose. This is about what motivates you and what direction you want your career to take. The third is presence. This is about visibility. Can people actually find you when they search for someone with your skills? And the fourth, your personality. This is about how you communicate, the tone you use, and how people experience interacting with you. When these 4 elements work together, something really powerful happens. People start to understand who you are professionally and what you stand for. And that is really what building a personal brand is about. It's not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about clearly communicating your strengths, your interests, and the value that you can bring to others. The real choice is whether you shape that perception intentionally or whether you leave it up to chance. Again, as I said earlier, please don't leave it up to chance. You don't want people to make assumptions about you. Right, moving on. Your profile, again, is your landing page. All right, so let me explain this in a way that might make you think a little bit differently about your LinkedIn profile. Imagine you apply for a job and your CV lands on a recruiter's desk like me. One of the first things that they often search for is to search for you online. So very often I would open up your LinkedIn profile. Now, if I land on your profile, I'm asking the questions, who are you? What skills do you have? And most importantly, can you help solve a problem for my client or the organization that they work for? So your LinkedIn profile works a little like a landing page on a website. When someone arrives there, they decide quickly whether they want to continue reading or move on. So you want to make it easy for them to understand who you are and what value you bring. So let me share a quick example from the recruitment world. Imagine I'm the hiring manager and I open 2 LinkedIn profiles from 2 different graduates. The first profile says something like, I'm looking for an opportunity where I can grow, develop my skills, and gain experience. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's honest, but it mainly tells me what you want. Then I open the second profile, and the second person says something like this. I enjoy analyzing data, turning information into clear insights that help teams make better decisions. During my studies, I worked on projects where I helped identify trends and present findings in a simple way. Now something suddenly has changed. As a hiring manager, I can start imagining how you as that person is going to help my team. I can see the value that you bring. Both people might actually have the same level of experience, but the second profile helps me understand how that person is going to contribute to my team. And that is the shift that makes the difference. So your LinkedIn profile should not only talk about what you want, it should help people see how you can support them, contribute to their teams, and help solve problems. In a professional world, especially when it comes to hiring, it's really about what the employer can do for you. It's usually about what you can do for them. So when someone looks at your profile, they should quickly understand how your skills, your thinking, and your experiences could add value. Let me leave you with one thought here. Employers are not hiring you because you need a job. They hire you because they need help solving a problem. And if you remember that, then you can tweak your LinkedIn profile accordingly. When you start thinking about how about your profile in that way, it changes how you present yourself. Instead of only saying what you want, you start showing how you can contribute. And that is when people begin to see you as someone who could actually make a difference in their organization. And that's what you want. You want people to see what difference can you make with your skills in their organization. Optimizing your profile using AI. We are all using AI, but it's about how you use AI. Now that we've spoken about your LinkedIn profile, that it's important, the next question becomes, how do you actually improve it? One of the tools that you can use today is AI, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Copilot, etc. Many of you are probably already using AI tools for studying, for research, or assignments. The same technology can also help you review and improve your LinkedIn profile. For example, you can ask AI to look at your profile and compare it to your job descriptions in the field you want to enter. It can help you identify skills that employers are looking for and suggest ways to improve how you describe your experience. It can also help you structure your headline, improve your summary section, or explain projects that you worked on during your studies. You will also see that the slide includes a link to a tool that can help you optimize your LinkedIn profile. I will share this all afterwards as well so that you've got all the tools. This is something that you can actually go and use yourself. You can paste your profile text into the tool and it will give you suggestions on how to improve your visibility and how your profile might appear to recruiters. So think of it as a way of reviewing your profile through the eyes of someone who might be hiring. However, there is something important to remember when using AI. As you know, AI should support your thinking. It should not replace your thinking. You're that human being. AI is just the machine to help you, all right? You as a person and your thoughts should come through quite clearly. And the way you communicate should also come through quite clearly. Your LinkedIn profile should still sound like you. It should reflect your real experiences, your interests, and your personality. There's one mistake that many people make when using AI. They copy and paste the text exactly as AI generates it. And that's the last thing that you want to do. The problem is that many profiles then begin to sound exactly the same. Recruiters read hundreds of profiles, and it becomes very easy to recognize when something sounds generic or overly artificial. So when you're using AI, treat it as a starting point, all right? Let it give you ideas. Let it help you organize your thoughts. But always go back and adjust the wording so that it reflects your own voice and your own experiences. Think of AI as a coach helping you refine your message, not as the person telling your story for you. Because when your profile sounds natural and authentic, it becomes much easier for people to understand who you are and how you can contribute. And that is ultimately your goal. AI can help you write better, but it should never replace your voice. All right. Moving on to the core elements of a good profile. Now that we've spoken about why your LinkedIn profile is important and how you can improve it, let us look at what actually makes a profile strong, all right? When someone opens your LinkedIn profile, they usually scan it first. Their eyes move across a few sections quickly to understand who you are and whether they want to learn more about you. There are certain parts of your profile that carry more weight than others. The first thing people usually notice is the visual impression. Your profile picture and banner create your first impression. This needs to be a clear, professional photograph immediately, which will signal credibility. It doesn't have to be a formal photograph or formal professional photograph, but it should look professional and approachable. So you can have a friend take a picture of you, head and shoulders, with a background of a wall behind you that looks professional, all right? Don't use an AI generated photograph. That just does not speak to credibility. It's also important to remember that recruiters and hiring managers are much more likely to click on your profile if you have a picture. Not, as I said, not as an AI generated image, but the real you. A real photo helps people feel that there's a genuine person behind the profile. The next thing people usually look at is your headline, which sits directly under your name. This quickly tells people what field you are in and whether your profile is relevant to what they are searching for. Your headline should give a clear idea of your field, your interests, and most importantly, again, as I said earlier, the value that you bring. After that, many people move to the experience section because they want to understand what you've actually done and how your experience connects to the role or the field. Your About section is where you have the opportunity to tell your story. It's a chance to explain your interests, what you enjoy learning about, and where you would like your career to develop. Your why should come through quite clearly here. Why are you interested in your field, and what motivates you professionally? Your qualifications and certifications show your educational background and any additional learning you have completed. If you're still studying, make sure your qualification is reflected as current so that people understand where you are in your journey. Your skills section is also important because it helps recruiters find you when they search LinkedIn. And sections such as awards, projects, or achievements can add further credibility because they show examples of recognition or accomplishments. So when you look at your profile later, do not only ask yourself whether these sections exist, ask yourself a more important question. Do these sections clearly help someone understand who I am professionally and what value I can bring? So remember again, if I opened your LinkedIn profile today, would I understand what field you want to work in and the value that you bring within the first few seconds? Your personal URL. With a small change, you can make your LinkedIn profile look more professional. So when you first create a LinkedIn account, the platform automatically generates a long link with random numbers and letters. It usually doesn't look very clean and it's or easy to remember. That long LinkedIn link with lots of numbers and letters looks more like a Wi-Fi password, quite frankly, and they're difficult to read and difficult to remember. So LinkedIn allows you to personalize your LinkedIn, your profile URL, which means you can change it so that it includes only your name and surname. It's much better to personalize your LinkedIn URL. As you see on the slide to the right there, it says edit, and where it says the linkedin.com/in/your name, that's where you're going to put your name and surname. It's so much easier to include your name, and it looks cleaner and more professional. And it's easier to share your profile link that looks professional when you include it on your CV, your email signature, or other professional platforms. You can do this directly from your profile page by selecting the option to edit your public profile URL. It's a small adjustment, but it immediately improves how your profile appears to others. Right. Skills. We spoke about skills earlier. So skills and keywords, I want to talk about the skills section. Most think this section is simply a list of abilities, but it really plays a much bigger role than that. LinkedIn works a little like a search engine. Recruiters often search for candidates by typing specific skills or keywords into the search bar. For example, instead of searching for something like graduate, they may search for skills such as data analysis, financial modeling, Python, project coordination, or digital marketing. LinkedIn then scans profiles and shows the people whose skills match those keywords. That means the skills you include on your profile help determine whether recruiters are able to find you at all. Make sure when you're choosing your skills that they are aligned with the field you want to work in and the types of roles you would like to pursue. It's also helpful to place your most relevant skills at the top so that they're immediately visible. And another important point is to avoid repeating the same skill in a different way. For example, communicating, or communication skills. It doesn't really add value. Rather focus on clear and relevant skills. The skills listed on your profile should also be supported somewhere else in your profile, such as in your experience, your projects, or your achievements. Because when people see a skill on your profile, they are often looking for evidence that you've actually used that skill. And the skills you should list also help someone quickly understand how you can contribute and add value to their team. Remember, as you're growing in your career, as you're developing in your career, you're adding more skills. So you need to keep updating your skills, just like you're updating your LinkedIn profile all the time. Don't just update your title, update everything on your LinkedIn profile. If a recruiter again searched your LinkedIn today using skills related to your field, would your profile appear in that search? Remember that. Your value add. All right. So when you describe your experience on LinkedIn, it's very easy to simply list the tasks that you performed. For example, someone might write something like responsible for assisting with marketing campaigns or helped with data analysis. The problem with statements like that is that they don't really tell the reader what impact you had. Instead of focusing only on the tasks, it's much more powerful to focus on specific examples and outcomes. So a helpful way to think about this in a very simple formula is task, action, result. So explain the task or the situation, describe the action that you took, and finally explain the result or the outcome of what you did. So this helps when reading your profile, not only what you were involved in, but also how your contribution made a difference. For example, instead of saying assisted with social media marketing, you could say it more clearly by saying something like, I supported a social media campaign by analyzing engagement, helping create weekly posts, which increased audience interaction during the campaign. Now the reader understands the task, the action you took, and the result. And a good thing to do is not only about the increase the audience interaction, I would say be specific. Increase the audience interaction by 10%, 20%, whatever the percentage is, all right? You may want to be thinking, I don't have much work experience, and that's completely normal. Experience doesn't only come from full-time jobs. Please remember that. It comes from the projects that you do, your group assignments, your internships, any volunteer work that you do, your research, or even initiatives that you were involved in during your studies. These experiences still show your skills, your thinking, and how you approach problems. So when someone reads your profile, the goal is not just for them to see a list of responsibilities. The goal is to quickly understand what you've done and how you can add value to the team or the company. If someone reads the experience section on your LinkedIn profile today, would they see a list of tasks, or would they see a list of examples of the impact that you've made? Right. So I want to just stop sharing here just for a minute, and I want to look at some random LinkedIn profiles just for a minute. All right, just a second. Why is this? So I want to share my. All right, can you see my LinkedIn page here? I hope everybody can see the LinkedIn page. So all I've done here is I've typed in graduate, right? Nothing else. And up has come, in fact, let me just do this. I'm going to go to. All right, so I'm going to type in graduate. If it would type in graduate, it would be great. All right. Okay. So I've typed in graduate. It's thinking. All right. So up has come these three profiles so far. Let's just look here quickly. All right. We've got Cabello and Tini. Just going okay, so Cabello and Tini says graduate recruitment specialist. So Cabello he's actually a recruitment specialist, so he's not a graduate. All right. So he's not a graduate, which is quite misleading, as you'll see. He's a recruitment specialist that specialized in graduates. All right, where Bayanda Ntanja is an HR graduate, but it doesn't say anything else. She's an HR graduate. All right. She's worked at the municipality in, I'm not going to say that because I'm not going to get that right. In the Eastern Cape, she's worked at the municipality there, but she hasn't said what has she done. She's also worked at the Department of Basic Education. She's not said anything here, and you'll see she's got an open to work banner. She doesn't have a LinkedIn banner here, but she's got her profile photograph, which is lovely. But she doesn't say here what has she done in her various work that is going to add value to another company. So she's missed an opportunity here about what can she do that's going to solve a problem for another company. All right, looking at this candidate here, Tamiso O'Brien, lovely picture as well. No LinkedIn banner, so he's missed an opportunity there. He's also an HR graduate. He's in Germiston, but he doesn't say, let's just look here. Okay, he's got his CV. Okay, so he's part of the YES program. He has worked at the Skills Bureau for a year. He did an internship at Gauteng Department of Education for a year and 6 months. Again, he doesn't say here, what can he do? What has he done in the time that he worked at the Skills Bureau or at the Gauteng Department of Education that will tell you what can he do to solve your problem. So if you are the recruiter at company X and you're looking for an HR graduate, Tamiso is not telling you how he can help you in the problem with the problem that you have. And exactly the same way, Bayanda has not said that either. I just want to see, is there anything else? There's education, skills, says recruitment and selection, training and development. Labor relations, but nowhere, if you look at recruitment and selection, training and development, labor relations, labor, both are, that's duplications here. All right. If you go back to her CV or her LinkedIn profile, nowhere here does it show you what her duties are that shows you how she's added value with recruitment. It doesn't say that she did recruitment here with the local municipality in the Eastern Cape. So that's what I'm saying, is you need to make sure that the skills that you list is really evident in your LinkedIn profile. All right. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing here and I'm going to go back to the presentation. Just give me a second. All right. All right. I hope everybody can see my slides again. Okay, let me just slideshow from current. There we go. All right. So tips and tools for posting. Posting on LinkedIn doesn't have to feel overwhelming. All right. You don't need to post every day, but being visible and consistent can help people recognize what are your interests and what is your profession, the way that you think professionally. A helpful tip is to keep your posts fairly short and clear, usually somewhere between 700 and 900 characters, as you'll see. You can also make posting easier by creating a theme or a small series of posts during the week. For example, sharing ideas or insights from something that you've learned, commenting on industry trends, or reflecting on a project that you completed. Another practical tip is to save ideas as they come up. So if you read an interesting article or see something relevant to your field, keep it for later so that you build a small bank of content ideas. LinkedIn also helps you to schedule posts, which can help you stay organized. And the key message here is simple. You don't have to post constantly, but when you share thoughtful and relevant content, it helps people to understand your interests and your professional perspective. You don't need to be an expert to post on LinkedIn. Sharing what you are learning is already valuable. And there's a prompt at the end for content ideas. And again, everything that I'm telling you that about the prompts, I will share at the end as well. All right. All right. Your posts and comments. Again, everything you post or comment on LinkedIn becomes part of your professional image. When someone visits your profile, they often look at your activity to understand how you think, what interests you, and how you engage with others. Your posts and your comments are an opportunity to show what you are learning, your ideas, and your perspective on topics related to your field. We all have different ideas about different things. So your ideas and the way you think about something should come through quite clearly on your profile. This doesn't mean you have to write long posts or complicated content. Even thoughtful comments on other people's posts can show your curiosity, your communication skills, and your willingness to engage professionally. So before posting on or commenting, ask yourself one simple question. Does this reflect the professional image you want others to see? Because over time, your activity on LinkedIn helps people understand who you are and what you care about professionally. Right. Just want to see something. Sorry. Sorry, I just want to see something quickly. Just having an issue with my, just a second. Sorry about this. Now stopped just a second. Okay, understanding how to take advantage on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn rewards people who are active and engaged on the platform. So this means that when you post or comment or interact with others, LinkedIn is more likely to show your profile and your content to more people. Tools like scheduling function can help you plan your posts in advance, but still important to stay genuine and not only rely on scheduled content. It's also helpful to keep your posts relevant and current, especially if they relate to your field or your industry. Posts that focus on specific topics or roles often receive more engagement. So one thing to be careful of is overusing emojis or unnecessary formatting. A clean and professional post is usually more effective. Simply put, when you stay active, share relevant insights, and engage with others professionally, LinkedIn begins to increase your visibility and more people start to discover your profile. Right. The different formats that you can use. So when you share content on LinkedIn, there's different formats that you can use. For example, you can write a text post, share an image, or create a short video. For those of you that love doing videos, great, okay? Post a carousel or even run a poll. Each format can help you communicate ideas in a slightly different way. For example, polls are good for encouraging engagement, while images or carousels can help explain ideas visually. But the most important thing to think about is your audience. Ask yourself whether the format you are using makes sense for the message you want to share and for the people that you want to reach. And remember something else that is very important. Engaging with other people's posts is just as valuable as creating your own. So initially, if you just want to engage with other people's posts, that's great. Until you've built up that courage to do your first post. And remember, there's nothing wrong with just saying something short and sweet, 2 lines on your post. Engaging with other thoughtful comments can often bring more visibility to your profile and help you connect with new people in your field. So don't feel that you always have to create new content. Sometimes simply joining the conversation is just as powerful. And if you are that person that really loves to do videos, you'll get even more engagement on LinkedIn, because I know that the video content really is quite powerful on LinkedIn. I know that video content for me is not something that I'm comfortable with, but I know if you are comfortable with video content, you can make a short video and post it on LinkedIn. As long as it's relevant to your field and it's something related to your studies or something that you've learned, you'll get engagement from that. So moving on to impressions. So simple engagement strategy can increase your visibility significantly. So a simple approach to follow is a small engagement routine. You don't need to spend hours on a LinkedIn. Even a few minutes can make a difference. For example, you could like a few posts, leave a thoughtful comment on posts that are relevant to your field, and occasionally share your own ideas or insights. An important thing to understand is how LinkedIn measures visibility. You'll often see something called impressions, as you see over here. So impressions is simply showing how many times your content or activity has appeared on someone's screen. And this is where commenting becomes very powerful. LinkedIn data shows that comments can bring up to 3 times more profile visits and up to 4 times more new followers. So sometimes commenting thoughtfully on other people's posts can actually be more powerful than just posting your own content. The idea, again, is to be intentional in how you engage, because every like, every comment or post contributes to your professional presence on the platform. So this is a formula that you can follow, all right? It's a very simple formula for you to remember on LinkedIn. The 4-5-1, if you remember that, you'll be okay. So start liking by liking 4 posts, all right, that are relevant to your field. It helps you stay connected with what people in your industry are talking about. The next thing I want you to do is try to comment on 5 posts, and commenting is actually more powerful than just simply liking a post, because it shows how you think and how others will notice your profile. All right. When you comment, sorry. Okay. When you comment, make sure that your comment adds value and adds meaningful conversation. And think about what the audience will see. All right. And the final step is one unique post of your own during the week. So if at the moment you're not posting at all, start with 1 post a month. If you can start with 1 post a month, once you've got used to that, then get to 2 posts a month. And once you've got to 2 posts a month and you're doing that regularly, then you work on 3 posts a month until you are getting to 1 post a week. It could be something as easy as what you've learned, a reflection on a project, an article that you found interesting, or a topic related to your studies or your career interests. Don't spend hours on LinkedIn, but stay visible, thoughtful, and consistent. If you remember just one thing from this slide, remember the numbers: 4 likes, 5 comments, and 1 unique post. Right. So using AI again, as I said earlier about using AI again is very helpful when you're working on your LinkedIn profile or creating content. It helps you organize your thoughts, improve your wording, or give you ideas about what to write. But there's something very important to remember, as I said earlier: it should support your thinking, not replace who you are and your voice. When using AI, explain to AI exactly what your situation is. Tell AI who you are, what you're studying, what do you want to achieve. The more context you provide, the more useful that response will be. Treat AI as if it is your younger sibling, to whom you're explaining exactly what you want him or her to do step by step. Definitely ask AI to ask you questions. That way it helps you better understand your situation before helping you write something. Once AI gives you a response, don't simply copy and paste. Read it, adjust it, and make sure again it sounds like you. Remember, your LinkedIn profile and your post should reflect your personality, your experience, and your perspective. AI is really there to help you refine your message, but your own story and who you are should remain your own. Building a network. Building a network is so important on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, as you know, is sometimes described as a networking platform. But what does that really mean? Think of LinkedIn as a professional networking event that never ends. All right. Instead of meeting people only once at an event, you can continue building those connections and relationships online. But networking is not just about adding as many connections as possible. It's about building genuine professional relationships. Start by connecting with people in your field people whose work interests you, or professionals working in companies that you admire, that you maybe want to work at. When you connect with someone, do not immediately ask for something. Don't connect and say, are there any positions available there? Wrong thing to do. Rather focus on building rapport and engaging with their content. Over time, these connections can lead to learning opportunities, advice, collaborations, and even career opportunities. So while you're studying, start building those relationships. Think of LinkedIn as a place to build relationships, and opportunities will follow later. Right. How to grow your, the next slide goes on to how to grow your network. Growing your network on LinkedIn should be intentional and aligned with your career goals. Rather than connecting with people randomly, connect with people who are related to the field that you want to enter. For example, you could connect with HR professionals, hiring managers, or people who are already working in the type of role that you would like to have one day. You can also follow industry leaders, organizations, and company pages that interest you to help you stay informed about what is happening in your industry. LinkedIn groups are also helpful because they allow you to join conversations with professionals who share the same interests as you do. The idea is to build a network that supports your learning, your growth, and your career direction. Remember, your network is not only about job opportunities. It's about learning from others, gaining insights, and building professional relationships over time. LinkedIn Jobs, really you need to make use of LinkedIn Jobs. It's a useful tool when you're searching and applying for jobs. Make sure that your LinkedIn profile and your CV are updated and they are a mirror image of each other. So when I look at your CV and I look at your LinkedIn profile, it says exactly the same thing because employers often look at both when you apply. You can use the LinkedIn jobs section to search for roles that are related to your field of study, or the type of career you'd like to start. It's also helpful to set up job alerts. This means that LinkedIn will notify you when new opportunities are posted that match your interests. Another useful step is to follow companies that you are interested in. This allows you to see when they post new opportunities and also helps you to learn more about the company. When you apply for a role, it can also be valuable to connect with people who work at the company. So even if you've applied for a role, start connecting with relevant people in the company. It could be the recruiters, it could be the HR professionals, or it could be team members in that specific department. So you can really understand the company better, their environment, their culture, and it also gives you an opportunity to introduce yourself professionally. The key idea is that LinkedIn should not only be used to apply for jobs. It should be used to research companies, build connections, and understand the industry you want to enter. Some top tips. So your LinkedIn profile is not something you create today and then forget about. All right. So think about it as a living profile that grows as you grow. Whenever something changes in your career, whether it's a new skill, a project that you've worked on, a course that you completed, or a new role, update your profile constantly so that it's always reflecting where you are in your journey. You can also use pinned posts to highlight something that is important, such as a project that you worked on or something that you are really proud of. Another important tip is to use relevant keywords throughout your profile, but do it naturally. Don't put them all in one section in your LinkedIn profile. Most importantly, be you, be authentic. Your profile should really reflect the real you, your interests, your strengths, and the value that you want to bring. Because the more genuine your profile is, the easier it becomes for the right opportunities to find you. And that ultimately is what we want, that the right opportunities find you, right? And the right people find you. So the analytics. So LinkedIn loves their analytics. It simply means the information that shows how your profile and posts are performing. So you can see how many people view your profile, how many people engage with your posts, and how your network is growing over time. This helps you understand what you are doing on LinkedIn and whether it's working or whether you need to change your output. All right. So there's also a link at the bottom of the slide that I will share with you at the end that you can use to see where and how you are visible on LinkedIn. I would encourage you to take note of that link or copy it. As I said, I will share it at the end so that you can use it to and explore it later. It can give you useful insight on how your profile appears to others and where you might want to improve your visibility. The key idea here is really simple. If you want to grow your professional presence, it helps to measure your progress and learn from what the data is showing you. All right. Some useful tools. This slide is simply providing a few useful tools and resources. Again, I will share those with you that you can use to improve your LinkedIn profile and your content. So the first one helps you to remove background from your photograph, create professional graphics, and or format text on LinkedIn posts. So Canva can help you create banners, visuals, or carousel posts that make your content more engaging. You don't have to use all of these tools immediately, but it's useful to know that they are available. Okay. You're welcome to take a photograph of the slide, or you can note down the links. As I said, I will share everything again. The last one where you can, when you're doing your LinkedIn posts, that you can actually format the text and make some of it bold. All right. It's just about making sure that the tools can help you make it easier for you to be professional online. All right, so I'm not at the end yet, but I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for taking the time to be here today and for your attention right throughout the session. I hope this has given you some practical ideas and tools that you can use to improve your LinkedIn profile and start building your professional presence. If you take a picture of the QR code, that's going to get you directly to LinkedIn. So if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, you can actually take a photograph of the QR code, which will get you directly there, that you can start building up your LinkedIn profile. All right. If you already have a LinkedIn profile, I would encourage you to go back and review it after the session. Look at it with fresh eyes and apply some of the ideas that we've discussed today. Remember, LinkedIn is a tool. The more you use it, the more it can help you learn, connect, and discover opportunities. And I want to say I wish you everything of the very best in your careers moving forward. So the next two slides I'm going to share with you. I will. The slide gives you a prompt that you can use with your AI tool to help you discover professional communities and organizations related to your field of study. If you're not sure where to start building your network, this type of prompt can help you find online communities, professional associations, and events that are relevant to your career interests. All you need to do is replace the sections in brackets with your own field of study and your location. For example, you might include your area of study and the city or country where you are based, and the AI then can suggest communities, organizations, or even events that could help you connect with people in your industry. It's a helpful way to expand your professional network and learn more about your field even before you enter the job market. The next slide is a prompt to optimize your LinkedIn profile. And it's really useful to use with your AI tool to help you improve your LinkedIn profile. So you can copy and paste this prompt into your AI, the AI that you're using, replace the sections again in brackets with your field of study and your LinkedIn profile link. The AI then reviews your profile, gives you suggestions on how to improve areas such as your headline, your about section, keywords, and overall visibility. It also helps you identify skills you may want to highlight and ways to better present your projects, your certifications, or your achievements. The idea is to use AI as a guide to help you refine your profile while still making sure the final version reflects your own voice and your real experiences. It's really a helpful exercise to do after the session when you start working on strengthening your profile. All right, so there we go. All right, so that's the end of the presentation. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody that's been on the presentation today. I am going to send Sakile and Swalihle all the prompts and everything on email so that they can share it with everybody that's been on the presentation today. Is that in order?
Oh, thank you so much, Mrs. Bonade.
Please, it's Miga.
Miga.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Miga. It was very informative presentation. Also for us as well at office, we'll be taking down some notes. I just hope if there's anyone here who has a question, maybe you can ask a question now with Miga. Now the floor is open for you guys to ask questions. Is there anyone?
There's a hand. Jabu, I see your hand. How can
you unmute your mic,
what
Jabu?
Question? Jabu, let me just unmute. You can unmute yourself, Jabu.
And also, just to share, for some of you guys who want the recording, we will post the recording on our TUT Rise YouTube channel. So, and tomorrow we post it as soon as tomorrow. So we'll just keep a lookout on that one. Just tomorrow on our TUT Rise YouTube channel. I'm sure you guys have also subscribed to it. So that's where we post our recording. Thank you.
Jabu, you still had your hand up. You need to unmute yourself, then I can hear what you want to know and how I can help. Oh, shame, you're battling to unmute. You can type in your question if you want to in the chat.
Okay, so while Jabu is typing, is there anyone else who has a question?
Will you see where?
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
For me, it's not a question. Actually, it's a words of gratitude. Thank you so much for an insightful presentation. I do have a profile in Liquid, but it's far, unprofessional. After I've had this and seen this, I think I just to do a total revamp and create a new one that is more professional.
Just update what you've got already, Boyesi. Where if you've got a profile, even if you're saying to me that it's not professional, don't create a new one.
Okay.
Use the one that you've got and just update it. Change what needs to be changed so that it reflects who you are currently, what your studies are, what your field of interest is. Just update what you've got already.
Okay. Thank
because
you
if
so
you've
much.
got, if you have two, if you now go and create another profile, then invariably somebody will, and I've seen this before, where I've looked for somebody and I find two profiles and I'm thinking, okay, which is the right profile? Because the one is not complete, which you're saying now, and then you may have one that is absolutely awesome. So rather just update what you've got already and just improve on it.
Okay.
All right. But it's only a pleasure. If there's anything you need, please connect with me on LinkedIn. You're welcome to ask any questions after this as well. I really don't mind.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank
It's a
you to the
pleasure.
team as well that organized this.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, we have Jabu on the chat box. I think Jabu is saying they want to do a business LinkedIn profile. Not so sure it's a question or it's a statement, but yeah.
Okay, Jabu, when you say you're wanting to do a business, a LinkedIn profile, what exactly are you meaning by that? Because if you're talking about a company, sorry, Sakile.
Sorry to disturb. Is it okay for Jabu to maybe send an email to you? I think this or that one, I think it's like a complex one. I think you'll need an explanation.
Okay, Jabu,
more detailed one.
To also connect with me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, because I think he or she is having a problem with the mic. So I think typing will be, yeah.
Okay, so Jabu, again, you're welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn and we can communicate on LinkedIn. I really don't mind.
Okay, we have another one here.
Yes, I see here. Okay, my question is, there are times when one fits into two positions, industry and lecturing. How do I make my profile suit both? And again, the prompts that I'm going to share an email to Likle and Sakile, I'm going to ask you to use that, because then you can actually use AI, again, using AI and telling AI as much as you possibly can about that you're fitting into two positions and what is the best way for you to show what value you can bring with the talents that you have, that you are doing, can do whatever your industry is and your lecturing. So how can you suit both of those positions into one that's going to make a powerful statement for somebody else looking at your profile? Does that help?
Okay.
Okay, so the next one.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, there's another question here. What's the best way to start conversations with professionals without sounding awkward or forced? You can just say, hi, I'd like, what's the wording that I normally use? I'd like to connect and build a professional relationship. So I'm going to type it in here. So why is it hi? Oh, there we go. Hi, would like to connect, build a professional. As easy as that is what you're going to say. And then when they come back and they've connected, then you start the conversation. It could be something that you've seen on their profile that looks interesting to you, whether the person has had some content that you really find interesting, or it could be that you're wanting to connect with somebody and you've seen some content. This person has written some content about your industry or your field of study, and you found it interesting, and you can say, hi, I saw your content on X, Y, and Z. I really find it interesting because of, let's connect. Remembering when you're connecting with with somebody on LinkedIn, you're only allowed, I think it's 200 characters. So you need to make sure that you say as much as you can in those 200 characters. So short and sweet. Anybody else have any questions?
Okay. Seems like everyone is all for today's session.
All right. Okay. But
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much,
everybody
Miga.
that stayed.
Yeah.
I really
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much, Miga, for the wonderful presentation. Thank you guys for participating with questions. Thank you for logging in, even though it was short notice, guys. We having another session next week. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, next week we're having another session next week. So we'll be sending through the link to you guys. So just keep in touch with us. But also we'll be sending you guys some more dates for a skills workshop. Thank you so much, Miga.
It's a pleasure. Have a lovely
Have a
day.
wonderful,
And thank you
yeah,
again
have a
to
wonderful
everybody.
week. Thank you so much.
All right, then.
Uh,
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hi, thank you.